was reaching to the sky, trying to pluck a star. I was hopeful for a while, but they're just a little too far. Round and round I go. Where I stop, well, I don't know. Maybe I should fly, gently say goodbye. Someone call an angel down. It's getting too dark here on the ground. Someone call an angel down. It's getting too dark here on the ground.
When I first was appointed as a co-chair, it was kind of a scary thing for me because it was something, this was new, the redesign was new, so it was something that I had no manual to tell me this is what I must do, etc. So it was just feeling our way around. I had to use that talking circle at our board level times when there was important issues that we had to talk about, and I thought, so I used a talking circle starting. I thought, well, if we're going to talk important business, this is how I wanted to hear from everybody. So this way everybody had an opportunity to say what they had to.
Initially when the planning was started, there was something special happening. You know, there was a lot of consultation with the Aboriginal communities. That probably had never happened before. And I mean, I want to say a lot. I mean, both urban and rural. What has happened in the last 2 years through PAC, there's been a reawakening saying, you know, there's something real that needs to be done here. And nobody wants to accept the status quo of 50% of all children in receiving services are Aboriginal. And what gives me hope, it really gives me a lot of hope, is when the PAC put a motion forward to the to the Assembly of Co-Chairs, saying we needed to have some focus on services to Aboriginal children and families. There was not one non-Aboriginal co-chair said no. PAC and the Assembly has started something. You know, it's not a hurricane yet, but we've started something. And it's something we don't want to lose.
When you take a look at just having boards and actually bringing Aboriginal people to sit on boards, having co-chairs sit on boards, I mean, that's a first, and it was trying. I mean, there's been lots of negatives and lots of wrong things done, but certainly that was an opportunity for Aboriginal people to be heard. I mean, it wasn't all wonderful, but it was an opportunity where we sat around with each other and started asking Aboriginal people to be part of solving problems instead of saying we know what's best and we'll do it to you or for you. Like, I'm feeling not overwhelmed by it, but there was a start.
The fact that 50% of the leadership at an authority level across the province is unprecedented, I believe, anywhere in any government administration. And that excited me too. And I also see that was the biggest change and the most valuable change for Aboriginal people in this province. And I always speak to that when sometimes we get challenged on overall numbers of people participating in that. But I said, yeah, but you've got 50% of leadership that are actually involved in directing policy, influencing policy, and have the opportunity to make those changes are Aboriginal people.
What sort of brought or drew me into this is going to a meeting and hearing about what the government was attempting to do. And one of the sort of phrases that stands out in my mind is government, you know, as a government, we do not make good parents. that the Aboriginal families are the parents, and they should be the parents, they are the parents, and the responsibility for raising that child or their children should be with the Aboriginal family. And that really hooked me. I really believe that. I know it's right. I know it's the way to go. We may have different ways of raising our children. They may not be the same as the Western cultures. They may be different, but that doesn't mean to say that they're wrong. I think if I think of one thing that has been good, I think, is really putting the responsibility of parenting back to the families where it should be, and that to me has been a real important.
I can speak from the Edmonton region, but I also know it's happening elsewhere, as we're starting to ask, what should we be doing? We're starting to ask the right people, what should we be doing? You know, we're not coming in there, and I just sort of seconding what Merle has said, we're not good parents. You tell me what good parents are. And I say you, I mean the Aboriginal community, Aboriginal individual. So those are two things that really are giving me hope, that the momentum's not going to be lost, and we're starting to listen.
The biggest thing that we need to do, and that has started to happen, and it's even happened in my own knowledge, I came aboard as an Aboriginal person who didn't know a lot about Aboriginal people. And so I've learned an incredible amount. And I think if Aboriginal people are involved, then we all will. And the more we do that, the more we'll move forward as a province and be helping children. And I think the thing that really surprised me, and what I've really seen happen, and I think it'll continue to happen, is the non-Aboriginal co-chairs and how much they were with us and how much they have got aboard. And that means down on our regional level and with the Assembly. And that's incredible. And when I saw that, then a lot of my own prejudices and stuff disappeared. It's been quite a journey, and I'm feeling quite good about it.
Before I became a board member, there wasn't really any information out there about CFSAs, and people had a misunderstanding that they were just there to take children away. So based on that premise, what gives me hope is now we have community programming, we have accessibility, we have parent link centers, we have resources for our parents, and we have kinship care, keeping our children within families, and people are now knowing that we are there to support them. Instead of taking the kids and putting them in a non-Aboriginal homes, we want to keep them, and you know, like, I think that's a positive thing, because a lot of our kids don't lose their culture that way. And I've seen some children who were taken away when they were babies, and then they were brought back to the community, and they were raised in a non-Aboriginal home, and they are totally lost. They don't understand how we live. They don't understand our culture, and and when I seen that, it's very, very, very sad.
A challenge is the numbers of Aboriginal people that die young. When you take a look, and I can remember in steering committee days when we worked on funding formula, and we looked at a graph, and I still get my stomach ties in a knot when I see, and they put all the ages of Aboriginal people in this province and in this country, and you see how many people, the very young ages, are dying.
Speaking with the Aboriginal communities, you know, beforehand conversations went from how do we get them to buy in to now how do we help them to build their capacity, how do we get them to, how do we support them to meet their own needs, because we know that they have the knowledge and the wisdom as to how to do that. And so I think that that's one of the really good things. You know, we're talking now to, there's talk to the social worker in college now to put in Aboriginal history into the, or making it mandatory for the social workers, so that they have an understanding, because a lot of them you know, don't understand the Aboriginal culture, and so because of that they're just so quick, I think, to look at, well, the standard isn't met and there's no flexibility to it and the child's gone.